Hello everyone, this is Amanda McGuire and this is my week 3 discussion board for MPA 594. Like many agencies, Inland Regional Center has been teleworking or working from home since March of 2020. Now, 2 years later, with the lowering of mandates and restrictions associated with the pandemic, IRC looks to returning to the office with new safety measures in place. So we're going to discuss how the theorists apply to making that change. In order to implement change, it needs to be done with motivation, efficiency, and management in mind. How does IRC motivate staff to return to the office after working from home for 2 years? How does IRC efficiently implement this change? And how will IRC's management supervise the change and the staff that are going through it? So first we start with the theory of motivation. How would our public administration theorists motivate IRC staff to leave the comforts of home again, as well as the safety of working from home? When it comes to work, employees are motivated in different ways. The most obvious is money, but there is also reaching a level of self-actualization, the need to feel useful to others, and the idea of being able to be social, as we are social creatures, and having that need needs to be met as well. If IRC first follows Maslow's hierarchy, considering what can be offered as an unfulfilled need, or even one that is already being fulfilled. For example, staff are feeling safe working from home. In terms of COVID prevention, they have more control over their health and their safety and being around other people who might possibly have COVID. So if procedures are put in place to ensure safety at work, then that need would be more likely to continue to be filled and the next need could be addressed. So IRC could then look to making a staff feel needed in the office and show some appreciation in some way, whether that is through a financial incentive or through just an accolade or an event that they throw together just to get everybody to feel like they're part of that team again. But they shouldn't stop there. They can continue to follow Maslow's hierarchy to satisfy the needs of the staff, ultimately leading them to that self-actualization state, which also will be positive for the organization as well, because when somebody is dedicated to helping themselves and they're doing so in a way that also helps the organization, those two coincide and it helps everybody. The other motivation would be to implement the change slowly, as Lindblom suggests with policy, slowly bringing people back and focusing on how it is working and adjusting as needed. And then finally, IRC should look to fail and Follett. Both would be necessary theories that involve getting the staff as part of the discussion, making them part of the change and how it's going to work, and giving them a new renewed spirit of esprit de corps, where they're more dedicated to the organization because they feel like they're part of the discussion and that they're needed and would be more likely to be motivated to come back to work. After motivation, IRC will need to tackle the efficiency vector, how to keep services running efficiently with the changes. Taylor's scientific method, or the one way, focuses more on procedures, which may not completely work on its own as it removes the human factor of efficiency. Instead, there needs to be a combination of structure and flexibility, as well as communication. Following Chester Barnard, communication is key to efficiency, not only by explaining what will happen to the staff, but what is expected, and also listening and being open to staff feedback. Weber and Fayol's theories both include not only a strict hierarchy, but also written guidelines that should be followed. So for efficiency purposes, there may be a method of productivity and safety that can be considered the one best way, and procedures should be written for clarity for it that can be followed, but there also should be flexibility, as Martin suggests, as efficiency is not one size fits all. Finally, in addition to motivation and efficiency, IRC will need to look at how to manage the change and the staff that are involved, as well as managing the changes ongoing. There are basic functions of management to be followed, which have been outlined by Gulick's POSCOR. These don't only apply to management of people, but of the change itself. For example, planning for and organizing the change, including doing so in stages, as we discussed. How this will affect the staff. Will there be more staff needed now that they're back in the office, or less even? Ensuring staff report to one manager who then directs their work and coordinates a new schedule. Reporting on the progress and adapting it. As things change, does this work? Does that work? What's not working? Are the staff being efficient still? Do we need to make changes? As well as paying attention to how the change affects the overall budget. There is also the management of the managers themselves, those who fit into two categories according to McGregor, those under theory X and theory Y. So you have those that are less strict as they feel their staff are cooperative and need less oversight, and then those who are the opposite and believe that their staff are lazy and will only do their job if they are given a lot of oversight. So there's the managers that then need to be managed to find a balance to ensure that the staff are doing their jobs in between those two. And then throughout all of this, the one theorist to go back to again is Barnard and the need for continuous and productive communication across the board. And that's all I have for this week. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a good day.